Um, Katie, this is a more kind of a general question, but it's a huge game, obviously. But can you kind of talk about your journey in the Ireland team? From first of all getting on the fringes to captaining the side to being on the brink of something really special now.
Yeah, so my journey obviously started with a phone call from Sue Ronan, I think, after the under-19s Euros. I think it was, 2014, wasn't it? So what's that, 6 years ago? Gee, I'm showing my age now. But yeah, it started with a phone call from Sue, obviously, to come into camp. And that first camp was always obviously a bit daunting, meeting Emma Byrne, meeting all the big heads. But no, it's been great. Obviously, then getting my first competitive. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Here you
go. First competitive cap against Finland, which was fantastic. I think I got man of the match in that. So I think from then on, I just loved it. You love playing for your country, and to be representing at senior level was something I've always wanted to do. I remember being a kid and being at these FAI kind of camps during the week and seeing Noel King, the gaffer at the time, the senior manager, and trying to impress and this and that. So for one day to be playing and obviously representing my country has been fantastic.
And can you outline for us the differences in preparation, even differences in standard as well, and the sort of approach you take, the way you play, the style you play, even since you first began?
Yeah, no, obviously it's been a bit different. Obviously each manager wants different things and demands different different aspects of your game. Obviously with Vera at the minute, it's very much getting the job done. Obviously looking at the game we've got ahead and working towards that and how we get a result. Colin was a bit different, and so was Sue. But it's always something I love. I love different learning from different managers and different coaches within each setup. And I think from the time I first came in to now, the standards have got a whole lot better. Obviously we've had to really push for things in the past, but we're at a really good level and a good relationship now with obviously the FAI.
Yeah, I mean, to contrast from the strike to the charter aircraft to Ukraine, that's quite a journey as well, isn't it?
It's progress. It's progress. Obviously, given the circumstances, it was a no-brainer. We needed to be obviously within our bubble to be able to play with a full strength squad on Friday. We've seen obviously the difficulties the men's team faced the last few weeks with COVID scenarios. So for us, it's just obviously maintaining all the guidelines that have been put in place for us, and yeah, obviously, as I said, maintaining it and making sure we're full strength for Friday.
And how proud will you be finally of leading your team, your country, in the most important game on Friday?
I think the feeling's a bit indescribable, to be honest. It's going to be obviously something special. It's something, we're on the cusp of something that's never been done before. But for me and the girls and staff included, we're just focusing on the game itself and the task in hand and how we'll stop Ukraine and obviously how we can obviously counteract their weaknesses as well. We've got a fine team that's in grand form. Obviously more players now in the WSL and that league is growing too. So I'm really confident in the girls and obviously we'll take that confidence into Friday.
Well, the very best of luck to you.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Sinead Kassan.
Hi, Katie. How are you? Sorry, I just missed the top of the press there, so excuse me if I'm repeating Tony's questions. Considering what's to gain this week, is this the biggest week of your career?
Yeah, absolutely. I just touched with Tony there about obviously being on the cusp of something that's never been done before with the women's national team, and obviously to be here leading the girls out for that is something special. I'm full of confidence in the girls and the team that we can obviously get the job done. It's going to be really obviously hard work, and the Ukrainians will make it really obviously difficult for us. But we're looking forward to it.
What would it mean to you, Katie, to become the first captain to lead Republic of Ireland's women's team to a major finals?
It's not just as a captain; it's as that little girl growing up to be achieving her dream of going to a major tournament and to share with all my teammates. is something that I'll never forget. Obviously I can't get too far ahead because we still have to play the game, but obviously to look forward and to possibly achieve that would be fantastic, but to be doing it with my teammates around me is even more special.
Must you also try and not allow the dream become bigger than Friday's game in some ways?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously it's great. Obviously we're chatting about the what ifs and but it's about getting the job done, and that's what we're focused on. We're focused on taking even today's training, tomorrow's training, and then obviously the game on Friday. We're fully focused for it.
And just final one for me, obviously different circumstances as well, where you're based this week and all the rest. In other ways as well, do you feel this is the best prepared Republic of Ireland squad to do this?
Yeah, definitely. Given in the circumstances as well, it's been difficult for everyone. It's been really, really tough, and obviously we've had our COVID tests all come back negative, which is fantastic. We'll be doing more tests this week again, obviously before the game. So it's really important that for us we're maintaining all the guidelines that are here, obviously in Germany, and then we'll take that to Ukraine and make sure that nothing kind of stands in our way of being fully fit and at full strength for Friday.
Best luck.
Cheers.
Nicola McCarthy.
Hi, Katie. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Katie, I suppose just kind of where you're at the moment at the camp in Germany, just how has it been getting back together? How's everyone feeling, and what's the kind of mood in the camp?
A quick turnaround since the last camp, but I guess it's always nice because you can kind of, it's not been too obviously far from our last camp that we can obviously take into the positives. I know Germany obviously didn't go the way we wanted, but the few positives we had from that camp, we can continue to where we left off. But the mood around camp is obviously calm, composed. As I said, we are really, really focused, but we're really looking forward to obviously the game on Friday.
And just, sorry if this is a bit repetitive, but just in terms of your own career, how do you kind of rank this game on Friday, or where does it sit?
I always kind of say to myself, the next game is always the most important game of my life, no matter if it's with Ireland or Arsenal or whoever it may be. Obviously for this game it is massive. I always want to give 100% when I'm playing for my country, and yeah, I literally can't wait. It's gonna be so good. As I said, the girls are in flying form at the minute, and there's a great mood around the camp. So we're really all looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Just finally for me, then I can't not mention that free kick against Spurs.
Free kick across. I think you're after muting yourself.
Oh, sorry. We'll go with free kick. But one of those will be welcome anyway on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. I was the girls have been giving me a bit of stick when I came in on Monday, asking was it a shot or a cross. So it's a divided opinion at the minute. But obviously I'm sticking to my guns with a shot. But no, it's always nice to get on the score sheet, obviously, especially in the North London derby, and really implementing obviously the fact that we can take obviously my confidence, the girls' confidence into this week and really grow from there.
Brilliant. Thanks, Katie. Good luck. Thanks a million.
Philip Egan.
Yeah, how are you doing?
How are you?
Hi, Katie. Just going back to the set pieces, I know you practiced set pieces yesterday. That's obviously an area that this team is very strong in. So definitely a chance that when the game is on Friday, if Ireland get a set piece, people will be getting excited by the prospect of that.
No, absolutely. We've showed, especially I think it was Montenegro away and Greece at home. I think the goals were really identical. Sorry, a bird just flew into a window just there. Yeah, the two goals were identical as such. But for us to when we get set pieces, it's obviously great to utilise the height of Louise, and her presence in the air is fantastic. And obviously Diane, we've got some big players there that can cause a lot of problems, and I guess it's my job to put it in the areas and those dangerous areas that we can obviously possibly score from.
And we spoke to Niamh yesterday. Obviously, Niamh is a club captain. There's plenty of captains and leaders in the squad. You're obviously going to lead the team out on Friday. What's changed for you since you've become captain? Has much changed?
Yeah, I guess it's from, I think, what was it, a couple of years ago when I got the captaincy to now. We even chat about it during the camps. Like the girls are saying, I've matured, and yeah, I guess I've matured. But I always kind of say it's down to obviously the people around me, the teammates I have. Yaniv Fahey's, Louise Quinns, Diane Caldwell's, Denise, you name it. They all kind of help and support me, whether it's improving on or off the pitch. I know I can lean on those leaders as well that can obviously help me grow, and for sure they've definitely helped me mold into kind of the captain that I am today.
Just finally for me, obviously with Ukraine, it was Vera's first game. Can you remember back to how you prepared for that game and the difference with preparing for this game? Obviously, there's a lot more on the line for this game.
Yeah, you're stretching my imagination now because that was a year ago. But no, I guess obviously that was Vera's first camp, and obviously we were excited to have our manager put in place and really want to get off to a good start and get the win. And for that camp, I remember Vera just kind of coming in and just solely focusing on getting the job done against Ukraine. And for us, we obviously rallied around that, bought into everything that she was saying, and it's really showed now in the last few camps. I thought we've had some great performances, and some of our players have really stepped up to the mark. And the quality we have in the squad at the minute is fantastic. So I'm hoping we take all those positives into Friday.
Yeah, best of luck. Thanks, Katie.
Cheers.
Gavin Cooney.
Hi, Katie. As I understand the permutations, a draw guarantees you the playoff, but a win can keep you in contention for an automatic qualification spot.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gratified to get that right. How does that affect your approach either before the game or in the game?
I think any game you prepare to play, you always want to go out and win. So obviously we want to go out and win the game, and obviously give us the best chance we can of qualification. As I touched on with Tony, it's going to be obviously a difficult game. The Ukrainians are going to probably make a hellish for us over there, no doubt. But they're a tough physical side, and they obviously had a great performance against Greece in the last camp. So I think it was 3-0. So they'll take that confidence into this game as well. So by no means is it going to be an easy game, but we'll be best prepared for it.
Mm-hmm. And just one last question for me, and it goes back to something you said to Sinead, that there's a chance to get into a major tournament and fulfill dreams that you had as a kid. As a kid, you didn't have a blueprint of an Irish women's team at a major tournament. So if you get there, young girls in today's world will have that example. Have you and the squad talked about how potentially transformative you guys can be?
I don't think we've touched on it too much yet, as it's like we've not obviously played the game yet. It's something obviously it will for sure be spoken about if we get the win on Friday. But I've got a little sister who's 12, turning 13, and all she wants to do is become a professional footballer. And for me, that's to be at the forefront of obviously Irish women's football at the minute. Leading the team is fantastic, and it gives her that hope of hoping to achieve our dreams one day. And that's who we're doing it for. We're doing it for not just my little sister, but for all the other young girls growing up looking at us. Because I was looking up to the likes of Emma Byrne, Yvonne Tracy, Ciara Grant, playing in FA Cup finals for Arsenal at Wembley, and all these big games. So that was who I looked up to. So for those girls to be looking up to us is obviously fantastic.
Thanks, Katie. Good luck on Friday.
Cheers. Thank you.
Rory.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hiya.
Just wondering, in the last Ukraine game, you went 2-0 up, and the game was almost won. I conceded 2 goals, and then in the Greece game, there was a last-minute goal as well. Has Vera looked more at maybe nullifying the opposition if you get in front, and especially in such a big game like this?
Yeah, I guess obviously we go back to the Ukraine game. I think we kind of gifted them the goals, so it's kind of looking at eliminating our mistakes, and really improving on that. And that's something we've touched on in these last few camps is how to remain obviously compact and organised and not give the opposition a sniff really. So for us, it's obviously something we've touched on, and obviously eliminating those chances we're giving the opposition, and utilising that, and obviously going and trying to obviously score goals, I guess, to win the game.
Yeah, this season with COVID, there's a bit of a change to the football calendar, and even the truncated season last year and a different start time this year. Your goal at the weekend at Arsenal flying, are you feeling at the top of your game?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a really, really good pre-season under Arsenal, obviously given the circumstances of COVID. The club have been fantastic. We're obviously helping the players and staff to train at the best kind of facilities and under the best circumstances. So it's been fantastic, and we've had a great start with the club. Obviously 5 from 5, so sitting top of the table is nice. And for me, I've had a few assists and obviously got the goal on Sunday, so I've got that confidence, and I'll be taking it into this week and into the game on Friday.
Yeah, just finally from me, obviously you used to come over with Louise, I imagine, when she was your Arsenal teammate. Now that she's not there, have anybody else maybe spoken to you about the game from Arsenal, and maybe a bit of crack about the importance of the game?
Yeah, well, we've got my S&C coach, my strength and conditioning coach is Owen Clark, and he's actually the under 21s S&C coach as well, working with Jim Crawford. So he was away last week with the 21s, and obviously the game against Italy didn't go to plan. So we're always kind of looking at each other's games, and he knows the importance of this game, and himself and the club are right behind me.
Really?
Cheers.
Kaelin Coffey.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hi.
Obviously, it's not been a great week for Ireland in terms of the world and lockdown and whatnot. How important would a result on Friday be to kind of lift the morale? And are the squad kind of thinking of that in the back of their minds when they step out on the pitch on Friday?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was yesterday we found out, obviously, that the country was going back into lockdown. So for us, we definitely want to boost the morale of the nation by getting that win. We're hoping now that to turn a negative into a positive, that home can TVs and tune into us on RT2 on Friday and get behind us, whether it's getting the flags out, get the jerseys on, and really getting behind us. It'll obviously mean the world to myself and the girls to have that support back home. We always say, yeah, the Irish fans are the best in the world, and no doubt I'm sure we'll have the nation cheering us on.
Fantastic. And just looking at apologies for the dog outside barking. Your teammate at Arsenal, Vivian Maidema, apologies for the botched pronunciation. She obviously set the record for the most goals scored in WSL. Does that give the squad as a whole a boost that one of your teammates is able to achieve such an incredible feat?
I'll help you with the pronunciation. It's Vivian Maidema.
My bad, sorry.
Nah, you're grand. To be fair, come here, like I played against Viv. I don't know whether you've seen a video go out that Arsenal took. I spoke about the first time I came face to face with Viv was at the Euros back in 2014. We reached the semi-finals, and she scored a hat-trick against us and put us out of the tournament. So for me, ever since, her name kind of stuck out from there. And then obviously to become teammates with her is fantastic, because you'd rather her play with you than you play against her. But now for us as a team, like we're delighted to obviously see her break that record. It was something obviously we spoke about before the game, and getting her, who was going to get her the assist, how many she was actually going to score, because Viv, honestly, she's unbelievable. We should see her week in, week out in training. She could turn around and not really be bothered for training one day and then score a hat-trick then in the game. She's honestly, she's indescribable how good she is. We've never come across a striker like her. So it's a privilege to obviously play with her.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Double check now. See who we have. Mark McCabe, no, he's not there. Philip Quinn. Am I there?
Yeah.
Am I on there now?
Yeah.
I want to know what happened to the bird. He hit the window.
I think he's dead.
What was it? Who telephoned it? I like these little things around the squad. I want to ask Katie, you played left back for Arsenal, but with Ireland you played it further up the field. Are you more comfortable? Have you got a set position, or are you just one of these people? I'm a former left footer myself as a junior player, but can you slot in other positions?
It's a good question. To be honest, like obviously I've been playing there the last while. We had a bit of trouble last season with left back. Just the two other actual left backs. One went out on loan and one was really kind of injury ridden. So it was me that was the only other left footer in the team that kind of filled in. But for me, I always love getting up and down the wing. So obviously it's a little bit different. I think playing with Arsenal because you're so advanced up the pitch, so you're predominantly a left, say, wing back. Anyway, but it's something I've kind of taken to. Joe Montemurro, our coach, he loves a very fluid team, and I could start left back but end up at right wing at some stages in the game. That's how kind of the way he wants to play. But it's obviously just keeping that balance. Something I'm enjoying, as you can kind of tell from the start of the season. But hopefully, Vera will be putting me up the pitch further on Friday.
Good stuff. One of the questions was asked earlier, and it's kind of something similar, but the men's team didn't quite get over the line in the Euros, and again, you have a situation where you could perhaps, step into that opportunity. And I know the finals, if you do get there, it won't be next summer, the summer after, but it really would be a chance to put ladies' football on the map and just say, look, the men's team didn't get there, but guys, get behind us. We're where it's important here as a nation.
No, absolutely. I was gutted to obviously see the men's team knock the line. I was sitting at home in London watching the game with my Ireland jersey on, believe it or not. I was really gutted for them. So hopefully for us now, we can it's obviously two separate campaigns. And this one obviously we've worked really, really hard to get into the position we're in at the minute. But no, I'm hoping we can obviously take a bit of confidence from the week into this game on Friday and get over the line.
And the last one from me, you're from Tala, Kilnamanagh. I mean, Robbie Keane was Robbie Keane growing up. I'm sure he was the name that you would have looked up, and what a great captain he was, the big goal scorer. The current captain, Seamus Coleman, have you met him? Have you tapped into him at all? Because he's a very inspiring sort of person as well, on and off the pitch. I was wondering, have you had any, would you pick the phone up to him or just anything like that?
Yeah, I met him, I think it was last year for the first time. We were at the launch of the short launch.
Yeah.
It was one of the first times I met him. My brother actually knows him from, I think, Sligo days.
Yeah.
So, it was obviously Gareth said he was always a lovely guy. But to meet him for the first time was great. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever come across. Really listened, and in terms of his knowledge of the women's game and where we were at with our campaign at that time, he knew the scores, he knew who we were playing and who we were up against, and it's nice to obviously have that relationship, especially with the men's captain as well. You have that open kind of communication, and he always does wish us luck, even if I'm doing well at club level as well. He keeps an eye on the game, so it's nice to have that. I think the lads have been great, and that's why I was so good to not obviously see them get across the line a few weeks ago.
Good stuff. Thanks for that, Katie, and all the best on Friday.
I hope he says I'm as nice as him.
Good on you.
Hiya, Katie. Can I just take you back to a couple of years, the back end of the previous campaign? You guys got yourselves in a very good position as well, and it didn't happen for you. How are you guys as a team now compared to them? How have you moved on?
Yeah, I guess obviously learning from those experiences, getting those big results obviously against the Netherlands and doing well in those few games in that campaign. It's obviously was mentally tough to get over, obviously not getting through. But for me, it's always a learning curve. You always have to kind of reflect and improve what we've done well. How can we continue that, and then obviously improve on the negatives, and that's something we've kind of touched on and looked at. Obviously with a change of manager, and we had to take that into consideration as well, and what Vera wants. But for me, I think the squad have been fantastic, and implementing what she and the staff want from us. I think that's showed now in this campaign with some really good results.
You said earlier that you found it difficult nearly to remember the 3-2 win against Ukraine, but the 2 games against Norway, do you remember how you felt back then? And is that kind of pain and hurt something that you guys can use as a team on Friday?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was the Norway game at home where I really thought we could have took something out of, and obviously the Norway game away was the kind of breaking point for us. Obviously we lost, and that was it. It was over. It does hurt. You kind of see pictures and stuff pop up of that immediate reaction then when the whistle blew at the end of the game, and it does hurt. We've a lot of those players that are still here in the squad that will remember that pain, and for the new girls kind of coming in, your Ellen Malloys and some of the new players, you can kind of, they'll understand obviously where we're coming from with that, and obviously we'll look to improve that.
Just finally for me, what sort of a game do you expect on Friday? One of the lads touched on earlier about the win is good for you, the draw is good for you, but Ukraine obviously will have a say in it as well. How do you think it'll actually pan out on the day?
So I was saying, obviously I touched on Ukraine's previous result against Greece. It was a 3-0 win, great performance and a clean sheet at home. So no, they're going to be going into the game with massive confidence. So it by no means is going to be easy. They'll make it really difficult for us in Kiev. But as I said, we're concentrating on how to obviously exploit their weaknesses and how to really obviously score some goals against them.
That's great. Thanks a million and all the best.
Cheers.
Paul here.
How you doing, Katie?
Hi.
How are you? We were talking to Gareth yesterday about the initiative with Jigsaw that's going to be announced tomorrow, and we were talking to Rawisha and to Niamh yesterday. But just briefly, as captain of the team and as a friend, how heartening was it for you to see Claire back in action? Oh,
it was amazing. I seen the clip of her going on. I think there was 10 minutes to go, and to be honest, she'll have no problem me saying this. Like, to see her at that stage, obviously a few months ago, was heartbreaking, and the strength and the courage and the resilience she showed in the last few weeks and months have been fantastic, and she's earned that appearance back with Glasgow City. And I know Glasgow have been so supportive of everything as well. Obviously we're in touch daily. She messaged me this morning saying good luck on Ireland AM. So she's always watching and supporting the team from afar, and myself and the girls know that. And it's honestly great to see. I was so proud of her. She's worked so hard to get back where she's at. But it goes to show with great support around you, you can get back on your feet.
And all in good time to come back into the Ireland squad, hopefully at some stage down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, what she's concentrating on now is club football and getting match fitness back. And Claire's a fantastic player, a massive goal scorer, and there's no doubt with time, there'll be no doubt she'll be back in.
And just on the game, just sort of a two-part sort of question on the game. Like, we're over a year into Vera's sort of tenure as manager here. What do you as captain feel are the kind of the hallmarks of her team, the stamp that she's put on the team compared to maybe where you were, just the differences over that period of time? And secondly, just on Ukraine, they obviously still have a game in hand on you as well. We're talking about what it would mean for Irish football, but we can't underestimate, I guess, what they're playing for, because if they were to win all 3 games, they're playing the 2 teams below them in the table after this game. There's a lot on the line for them as well.
No, absolutely. We can't, as you said, we can't underestimate Ukraine. They're a fantastic side, and they showed even when we were 2-0 up last year, they got back into the game. So by no means are we going to, as I said it's going to be an easy game. It's all to play for them. So there'll be no doubt they'll be making their mark, wanting to make their mark on Friday. But for us, it's just being as prepared as possible for that. To touch on obviously your question about Vera as well. Like, for me, what she's implemented in the team is obviously just a purpose, a good purpose and belief in trying to instill the belief within us, and that we're good enough to compete at this level, and we're good enough to compete and challenge for qualification at major tournaments and even go further from there. There's always been the element of we won't qualify, we haven't qualified here, we haven't qualified in years, or never done it or whatever. But for her, she's come in, she's been a part of teams that have been a part of major tournaments, and the experience she has, she's just taken that in. And obviously we're learning every camp and every day from her, and yeah, just kind of instilling that belief in us.
Brilliant. Thanks, Katie. Best of luck.
Cheers.
Should we almost there now? I think that's it. Unless anybody has any last questions.
Yeah, I'll throw one, Katie. Sure, I'm here. Just on that, you know, you're talking about the confidence earlier. I mean, a lot of you guys are playing at you know, good clubs, playing regularly. You know, Denise is back, kind of showing her stuff with Brighton. Like, she's still Amber's doing her stuff over in Germany. I think she's 3-3. Like, you're all coming in to the game, you know, with the confidence. Whereas maybe, I don't know, in other campaigns, players weren't getting games at clubs, or they were at, you know, at a standard here, maybe which wasn't the best. I mean, do you get that sense of a squad? And there's lots of club captains in your squad as well. Do you get that sense of a group, which is just how it's very much chest out and very kind of positive and oozing that kind of confidence that you're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was important. I think obviously coming into the Germany game, we hadn't seen each other in 3, 4, 5 months. I don't know for sure, but it was a couple of months we hadn't seen each other. So that's a long time to not see your teammates. So to come away from the Germany camp and in this short space of time to come back in and see the girls and the form they're in, and obviously you spoke about Denise, one of the best players I think to enter the WSL. I was going to say WNL there. But yeah, you see Alex Morgan coming in, Rose Lavelle, Sam Mewis. Yeah, they're fantastic players and World Cup winners. For me, I'd be talking about Denise O'Sullivan, MVP for North Carolina 2 years in a row. Why isn't she being spoken about? Like, for me, she's a fantastic addition to that Brighton team with Rihanna and Megan Connolly as well down there. I'm sure they're going to cause a lot of problems for probably myself and the other teams in the league.
Yeah, I just on the campaign as well, like, you know, you would have had that period before halftime Ukraine, before halftime Germany. Let's not mention the late slip up Greece. Okay, you've got 3 kind of mini periods there, which, you know, can either make you stronger, or you're always worried that they're there in the background. Oh, here we go again. How have you kind of processed those, say, even in this camp this week, in terms of not letting those, you know, whatever you want to call them, mini meltdowns or lapses of concentration? How do you make sure that they don't happen again? Because, like, you're not going to dominate for 90 minutes, so you need to be kind of on your toes, and they're going to have attacks. But I mean, how have you just kind of prepared yourself against kind of having setbacks like those again?
Yeah, I guess it's remaining ready for our game plan. Obviously, Vera implements a game plan, and we have to stick to it. And by sticking to it, we need to be unified in that and doing it with that togetherness. Obviously, they touched on the halftime 3-0 down against Germany. We looked at what we were doing wrong and how they were cutting us open, and we put it right and made sure we didn't concede anymore. And in that short space of time, that just shows the quality of this team and the togetherness of this team, that we can implement those issues that Vera's trying to fix and do it in such a short space of time. And for us then, obviously, going into this Ukraine game, we're looking at obviously their weaknesses and strengths and how we can manage that as well.
Good stuff. Okay, go well. Thanks.
Cheers.
Okay, guys, thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks, Gareth. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Katie.
All the best.
All the best, guys.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
Vera was ringing you there, so she wants to go up to Dusseldorf there.
Gareth, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course, go ahead.